Hi, I'm Madeleine Winter and I'm a hand-in-hand instructor based in Sydney in Australia and working with parents across the world. And I spend a fair bit of time in this Facebook group, so I'm pleased to be here with you. I have a new light which I'm experimenting with, so sorry about the weird light, but I thought I'd just get on with it. So I was actually going to talk about one of the posts, but someone posted a question, so I'm really happy to have a go at that. So this parent asks, how do I stop my sons from distracting each other during those down times, such as preparing for bed? They appear to need intervention before either can focus on what it is they have to do. The 10-year-old seems to encourage silly off-track behaviour more than the younger one, who already has some challenges, and I want to be able to leave them to it. Great question. I think we hope that by the time they're this age, we will be able to leave them to it. And the bedtime is a tough time. Often we're not at our best, or there's actually quite a lot of work to be done before we can end our day, and it's not a time when it's all that when it can feel all that easy to be hanging out with our kids. But it's a really important time, and it doesn't stop being important as our kids head towards adolescence. In some ways, I think it's more important. It's one of those moments that, as the parents of older kids, we really need to have our eye out for. It's times when they're inviting us in, and we can put aside what we wanted to do and focus on them. So in terms of these two boys, the first place I'd start is they can't focus until they can focus. And hoping that they're going to be able to do it may be what I call an unworkable situation. Kind of hoping that you can lead them together at this time of the day, even though it hasn't tended to work, before. It might work eventually, but right now, my guess is it's not. So it's not. You'll need to do something in order to shift it. And I think that even at 10, sleep is experienced as a separation, and young people have feelings about separating from us, from their lives, from the day, even at 10. It's certainly often an issue for younger ones. And as I said, as children move into adolescence, the time before sleep can be an incredibly important close time. It's a special time of sorts, and if you're well connected at that time, it can be a time when your child feels safe enough to actually share how things really are for them, or raise issues, or just share things with you that they wouldn't voluntarily share at another time. So I think that the time before bed is going to be a time where we need to really be focused and paying attention, rather than leaving them to it. Sorry. And if they're getting into trouble together at this time, or one of them is off track and it's causing trouble for the second, then and if that's happening, particularly when your attention isn't on them, basically I'd say that they've run low on connection, and they're actually needing a kind of connection injection in order to smooth things along or pull up an upset. But I like to say that, connection is the thing that greases the wheels of family life. So you may need to inject more connection at that time of the day. And I don't know how much special time you're getting to do, but one way of resolving tensions between kids and of resolving tensions around bedtime is to do some special time with each of them. So special times are one-on-one, timed, announced playtime, one adult to one child. When you've got more than one child, you have to figure out how to manage the time between the two of them. But my experience is once you get that into your routine, you'll find it doesn't tend to drop off. It's a thing that works well with routine. And even a short special time with each of them separately may just shift the whole thing into territory that's more manageable. You also might do some play listening with them together in that period before bedtime. You know, the kind of conventional wisdom is to calm everything down at bedtime, but we find, especially roughhousing, good rough physical play where there's a lot of laughter can actually build connection, and laughter is how we release lighter tensions. So it gives your kids a chance to offload some of the lighter fears they might be carrying around. It's very connecting, and often that helps get over that difficult spot of where they're fronting up to having to get to sleep, which can be a tight time in the day of a family. So roughhousing is physical play, a sock fight, a wrestle, where you're looking to set them up so that they win. And I find with older kids, it's not so hard to do that. It's pretty easy to lose. And we're looking for laughter. We use laughter as our guide. Laughter is the release of lighter fears, as I said, and that can ease things. And when you've got more than one child, and if they're a little bit scratchy between them, I'm not sure if that's your problem, but some roughhousing where they get to gang up on you, if you can handle it, it is often a really cool way of setting them up in a good place in relation to one another. They can gang up on you, it connects them together, and it can be fun. And if you're not up for a big pile up on you, both kids on you, then you might try something like timed wrestling. So each kid gets a 3-minute round with you. That's particularly good if kids are at a place where they bump into some big feelings pretty quickly with play listening, which, you know, stay listening's a great thing to do, but particularly when you've got more than one child, there's a real fine art in keeping the play on the side of playfulness and laughter, and timing physical play and having rounds can help to. So then else? Yeah, that's what I think. I think having them together at bedtime is also possibly not workable at the moment. So, you know, we're the most hopeful bunch of people in the world, and we hope that it will work this time as parents when it hasn't worked any other time, you know, and perhaps trying to do the bedtime thing with them both together is not something that's going to work at this point. So you might want to figure out how to stagger their bedtime, or have, I don't know if you have a parenting partner, have someone else with one of them and you with the other. But I'd say that at this point, leaving them to it really isn't likely. And I think, like, to do any of this stuff, and certainly for me, at the end of the day, to remember that that's important and that I need to not get distracted with whatever my agendas are, I've needed listening time. And finding someone that you can basically swap an equal amount of time with, and where you get to talk about the hard spots in your day, the places where you wish it was different, you can kind of vent your frustrations. It's amazing how when we get to do that, our mind will be able to kick into gear, and options will become available which just simply don't seem to be there when we're in the middle of tough feelings about it. So I think if bedtime is a particular difficulty, any difficulty in your family's routine, taking it to listening time where you can just talk about how it was, you know, it may be that it reminds you of something and it's pulling up feelings from some earlier experience, but just to download. I can't tell you how, just kind of, for me, just complaining about doing special time. I don't want to do special time. I never want to do it again. Amazing how after doing that, after periods of special time drought, we've got a name for it in Hand in Hand. It's called special time dread. Gets to a point sometimes where you just really don't want to do it. Complaining about it can somehow, has often opened up slack for me to actually be able to do it, to find time to do it, to figure out the logistics that make it possible. So I hope that's helpful. I might pop in again next week with something else pulled from your lovely discussions with each other. It's a privilege to be part of this group. I really enjoy being with you, and yeah, till next time. Thanks for the question. Okay, bye.